Hey there, welcome to Talk Story Tarot. Gonna do today's energy update. Energy was pretty hectic today for me, so I had to put on my war paint and soldier up a little bit, get my energy, reclaim my energy. Let's just say I'm reclaiming my energy. I should not that serious. I um, I had a pretty rough day at work. It's gonna be rough for the next couple weeks until the business closes. So um, I'm dealing with that, and I'm trying to be patient and not lose my shit. And um, yeah, so that's what I'm dealing with at the moment. And yeah, I just decided to, like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy myself some more makeup. That's kind of like my little therapy. What I do is I buy makeup. Anyway, maybe I'll get more into makeup artistry. About maybe 15 years ago, I was super, super, super into makeup artistry, and I like would go just. I was like fully artistically out there. Here's the thing. Um, I have been much, much more subdued and focused on survival for, I'd say, yeah, the past 12, 15 years, and which is crazy to think about because it's just never, it's always when what you focus on, it just keeps persisting. So that's something to think about as we go into our reading today. What you focus on, it persists, no matter, and there's never really an end to that until you shift your focus. Okay, let's get into our oracle cards here. Yeah, confrontation. Maybe you've had a confrontation with someone recently. Um, Maybe if you're feeling like people are messing with you, maybe there's some trifler energy, or somebody's messing with you, somebody that maybe you're feeling a bit like put out, or there's outside forces intimidating you right now. They're weak, very, very weak. That's the first message. Excuse all the junk in the back of my fan right now. Okay, focus. Uh, yeah, so I'm just letting you know that these forces are extremely weak. They might appear scary on the surface, yeah, because we're getting that kind of energy of like government. And government is very intimidating. Maybe you're being sued. Maybe you're dealing with some legal crap. Maybe you got arrested. I'm not saying you got arrested, but when you get arrested, people don't realize it's not just putting handcuffs on you and locking you in a cage. There's all this legal stuff that goes along with getting arrested. The only reason I know this is because I watch a lot of like cops kind of body cam shows. It's just like mindless entertainment, but it's all legal stuff that goes. It's like secretarial. Cops are mostly secretaries. They have to write like these long drawn out reports, and they have to be very detailed because there's so many legal loopholes that keep them boxed in. And legal stuff can make you feel boxed in. All the paperwork, the rules and regulations of life can make you feel very boxed in. And just want you to know that the box that you're boxed in, that you're feeling boxed in right now, it's cardboard. The box is cardboard. It's not. Um, you can break your way out of this. You are strong. You've been working on your solar plexus energy because we're in Leo season and we're working on that solar plexus energy. We're working on strengthening our core. And no paper box, no paper, cardboard box can keep you down, keep you in. So you have to remember that legal stuff, rules and regulations, all that stuff is on paper. I'm getting that very strongly. This is about paper. And all that stuff has to do with paper. Paper can't hurt you. It can cut you, it can sting, but it can't kill you, it can't hurt you. You can be buried in paper. You can fight your way out of this. You're strong. You have to remember, do not be intimidated. Do not be intimidated by this kind of scary, um, visually, visually and mentally frightening energy because you are spirit. Remember, you are omnipotent. You are spirit. You are a part of the whole of reality. And you are spirit dreaming this reality. This reality is a dream. Your spirit is having an experience. It's just an experience. That's all it is. That scary thing in front of you that's intimidating you right now, that's confronting you right now, that's getting in your face, it's just made of paper. It's made of paper. And paper can easily be dealt with, right? What does paper require? Think of it in that context. What does paper require? A paper, let's think of it not just legally. Let's think of it as like your homework, a homework assignment at school, an essay, a end of term project, your final paper. Think of paper as, this is my final paper. I have to, write something. You just have to finish it. And when you finish something, this is something really important that I want to get out before I get into the cards, because it's something that I learned today, is that you don't have to finish. I forget what it's called. Maybe I'll bring it up again once I really get it down. But there's this method of studying, of completing things, where you don't focus on the whole project, right? You don't get bogged down in thinking of like, oh, I gotta do this, and then I gotta do that, and then I gotta do this. You don't think about what's to come. You just focus on, you can even make a list of like the 10 things you have to get done to get this paper finished, right? And turned in. You can write down the 10 steps, and then you figure out which two or which one of those steps is the most important one in order for you to get it done. Is it the planning? Is it the outline? Is it is it the body of the work, just writing it out? Is that more important? Or is it, the planning? Or is it, it's not the final touches of like, oh shoot, I gotta get, the right kind of folder that the teacher requires and all that stuff. Don't worry about that right now. Focus all your energy on the one or two steps that you need to do for this project, and just do that. Just focus on that. Forget about everything else. Just so that you get it done, and just throw everything else out of your mind, regardless of the time. You have to remember that you have the same amount of time in your day as the great minds of humanity. You have the same amount of time in your day as Jesus Christ, as Buddha, as Albert Einstein, as Leonardo da Vinci. You have the same amount of time in your day that they did. And it just, what you just have to focus on what's most important. What's most important. And what's most important is not necessarily finishing your project. I know that sounds crazy, like that doesn't sound right. Like, I have to finish the project, right? I have to get this done. No, 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 no. You just have to train yourself in the direction of doing the best and focusing your energy the best that you can on the the most important part of the project, and just the pieces will fall into place. But we get bogged down in the severity of what's in front of us, the totality of of the goal. You focus on the goal and the totality of the goal, you become overwhelmed. You become bogged down and you become overwhelmed and you get intimidated. You get intimidated. Okay? This is intimidating energy here. Intimidation. Yeah, because you have the capability, the knowledge, and you've accumulated all that you need to get through what you need to get through. You've already done it. You've already accumulated all of that knowledge. The entire book, the entire book of spells, the entire Grand Grimoire is already downloaded in your brain. It's already there. And you have to just have the confidence to realize that it's there. The Grand Grimoire is already inside of you to get the thing done, to the information has already been downloaded. You just have to channel it. Just channel it. So when you think about it, the channeling part, and we're talking about a homework assignment here, okay? Just as an example, the channeling part is the easy part. So you don't even have to worry about that part at this moment. You don't have to worry about that part. All you have to worry about is the idea, the seed. What is the seed of this whole thing? And focus on that. The seed is not the whole fruit, right? It's not the flesh, it's not the skin, it's not any of that. The seed is the middle, the heart of the matter, and focus on that. Okay, let's get more back into our cards. But yes, you have everything already downloaded inside of you. Yeah, the seer, the Vesica Pisces. Remember, the seed, the seed is already downloaded inside of you. You are that seed already. So if you're focusing on your passion, your highest excitement, the thing that moves you, the thing that drives you, drives your this body and this spirit, if you're focused on that, but you're like maybe it's kind of hazy. Remember, we're in that weird moon kind of energy where things are not perfectly clear. The way to get clear is your joy. Your joy is it will clear away all those cobwebs. So focus on your joy. Focus on your joy. Yeah. Because you are the star seed. We've talked about this so many times. I mean, it's like repeating myself over and over. Wow, and we got the temple again. We got the temple yesterday too. So prayer, and remembering who you are is so important, especially when someone's fucking with you and fucking with your energy. The trifler, the intimidator, the asshole. I don't want to swear in my video, but it's not like my videos get that many views, so I don't really care at this point. I'm just gonna go with what comes through, and what comes through is you need to focus on who you are. Yeah, focus on who you are. You are the star seed. You need to pray on this. Sometimes you need to just drop to your knees and pray. Doesn't matter who's in the room, doesn't matter if the trifler is standing over you, intimidating you, pushing you down. Pray. Close your eyes and pray. Sometimes, when my intimidator, because I have a big intimidator in my life, I just kind of stick my fingers in my ears and I go la 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 la. Oh, it pisses them off so bad, but that's not my intention. Is to piss them off. My intention is to refocus my energy back to who I am and my core, you know, my core. And just sometimes you have to go inside the egg. Sometimes you have to, protect yourself. And in that space of like, okay, I've got my boundaries up, remember who you are. You're not vulnerable in that egg. No, no, no. That egg is vulnerable to you. Yeah. You might feel boxed in, you might feel like you're in jail. But it's illusion. It's illusion. It's illusion. Pray about it if you have to. If you feel like you need to just kind of go within and ask for help. And you'll realize, like, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, because you are good. You are good. You are very capable of being a healer for others. You know, when they say, like, you can't help anybody else if you can't help yourself. If you're in turmoil, how can you help anybody else? But then you'll never help anybody else. So if you're always in that thought, like, oh, my life's a mess, how can I help any? People will criticize this. They will criticize you for this. And I'm not going to say that I'm guilty of this, but I am very intimately connected with a situation where someone is trying, that I know in my sphere of influence, a person who had a huge impact on my life has always made it their mission to be like a leader, a person who is highly spiritualized, who wants to facilitate, shamanic experiences involving entheogens, psychedelics, and in like a group setting, and leading this kind of like being like a guru, right? And they've gotten a lot of flack for it. Not from me. I kind of bowed out of that situation a while ago, but I've had to hear it from other associates in this sphere about like she's so fucked up. Like how the hell does she think that she can do this? Who does she think she is? You know, I mean, I'm just like, okay. I mean, I could see that perspective, but at the same time, if that's what she feels like she's being called to do, then she has every right to do that. I don't know what goes on. I mean, I've been part of them, and I kind of know what's going on, and that's her passion. And if she's acting on her passion, I feel like then that is her guidance. And perhaps, like with me in this channel, perhaps it's a way for her to heal herself too. By healing others, you heal yourself. So don't feel shy about it. Don't feel shy or intimidated to back down from your passion because you are the healer. Yeah, you are. Your input is sacred. Your input is valid, and you have powerful healer energy coming through in this reading. Powerful, very, very powerful. And that is where you are going to be protected. That healer energy, that sacred medicinal force within you. This is how you're going to make the breakthrough for your peace and your tranquility, the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do what you need to do. Okay. Yeah, because this is coming in quick. This is coming in hot, and it will require your input. It will require you to kind of stand on your own. You're gonna have to stand on your own. You may have to walk away from certain individuals. You may have to walk away from your whole life as you've known it so far. It may require that. I'm not saying it is going to require that, but you're going to have to evaluate. You're going to have to really sit with yourself and decide how you're going to go forth, because it's coming in, the energy's coming in hot regardless. You know, that's why we were talking about before how the universe will come in and do the surgery and cut out what needs to be cut out so that you can go through this transition, because the transition, you're going through it. You're going through it. It's going to be a while, you know, before we resurface from this transitional period. But you've been doing the work. You've done a lot of work in a lot of different areas of your life. You've been doing the work. It may not feel like it's paying off, or and you may even feel confused about what you want and what your next steps are and what you're really doing here. But when you take a step back and look at what you've been working on, this is what artists do. Okay, an artist will often, you know, get so focused on their painting or their sculpture. They'll get so hyper focused on like making the face or the nose, or painting this one tree. They take a step back and they look at the whole picture and go, okay, maybe I need to work on this part, maybe I need to work on that part. But for the most part, this painting is complete. And that's another thing I want to go into about what I learned today is not getting so like intimidated when you have that canvas in front of you, like, oh, where do I start, where do I go? um, just start with the tree, or just start with the bottom. You know, just start, because eventually the flow, the creative flow, the seer, the channel within you will open up, and it'll all just happen, and it'll all just unfold. And whatever comes forth is what comes forth. You don't have to worry about the outcome. You don't have to micromanage the presentation, because when the time comes, when that deadline hits, you're going to have what you have, and they're going to have to go with that. And if you fail, if for whatever reason you don't get the job, you don't get the grade you wanted, you don't get, you know, the result, you've learned so much through this process that when it comes up again, you're going to nail it. You're going to absolutely kill it. And, you know, I mean, that's eventually it's going to come, is what I'm trying to say. Eventually it's going to come. So, yeah, let me just look at these cards here and try to get, I have like four of them. I don't know why I pulled so many. Okay. Okay, yeah. So the moon energy is coming up again, and it keeps coming up because we are in this transitional period in liminal space, as we discussed yesterday about liminal space. Liminal space is that place where everything's kind of like everything's there, but it's very it's almost like the veil is very thin in this room that we're in, and it's like moving in and out of dimensions. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're in this space of like the veil between dimensions is very thin, and our consciousness is like an onion. Ogres are like onions, okay? Our consciousness, we are like onions. Our consciousness expands out and expands out, and that's how we grow. That's how we grow as spirit. You know, we grow just like a crab in a shell. You know, its body outgrows its exoskeleton, and it has to kind of hatch itself out and then reharden a new shell. And as it grows into that shell, you know, it gives it time, but this is how we expand and we grow. Um, you know, spiders do this, crabs do this, anything with like an exoskeleton will do this and expand out. So we have a lot of, oh my gosh, we've got so much sword energy here. So there's a lot of thinking going on. There's a lot of, um, you know, stuff where we're kind of in our head right now, and we need to realize that we need to just kind of not try not to get so much in our head and go back to the solar plexus, back to that chakra, the solar plexus chakra, the the naal, the core, the strength inside your, it's literally sits above your belly, like right above your navel. You can even just focus your energy above your navel. Do meditation and focus to strengthen and to ground within that space and get out of your head, because it's there's a lot of indecision, there's a lot of like choices in front of us, and it can be very intimidating, it can be very scary, but remember that it's just paper. Just get that paperwork done. Just get it done. Get that project done. And don't focus on the totality. Don't focus on the big picture. Just focus on one little aspect of it. And that's all you have to do. Okay. Okay. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just getting things downloaded in my brain right now. So we talked about the spider, and yesterday we talked about hexagrams and altars. Um, we talked about invocation. That's something that was brought up before, is invocation. So after we've done our invocations and we focused on whatever image we have on our altar space, a candle, a statue, something to focus on to one point. This is what we talked about yesterday. Our next assignment is to go prepare ourselves. We need to prepare ourselves. We invoke and we need to prepare ourselves for the next step. And the next step is literally a rite of passage. It's an initiation process. So it's like ignition, like putting the key in the ignition and turning it. This is your initiation into not just the next phase of your life, but your true calling and your true purpose. Yes, we go through all these phases and we're learning and we're growing, and our spirit is expanding, always expanding, and it's going to keep expanding, and it's going to break new boundaries. But this is really the time, and I didn't realize this until this very moment. I think that's why I'm a little tongue tied about this, because going through a rite of passage is something you do in your youth. It's like a coming of age. And that's a huge step in anyone's life as they're coming of age. And there's different ways that cultures perform coming of age rituals and initiation. You know, what it means to become a man, what it means to become a woman, a young woman, and coming out into the world and saying, here I am, I'm ready to be married, or what, married off, or whatever. It's just a rite of passage. It's just an initiation. It's just the point where we have said, I have matured. I have matured, and I am here, and I'm not going anywhere. That's what an initiation is. It's a declaration of you, where you are officially here and there's no more screwing around. And you can't intimidate that person. That person is no longer a child. That person is no longer naive. That person can see. That person can see right through everything and everyone. And that person can face any challenge. This, what's going on in our lives right now, this moon energy, this liminal space, it's nothing. It's paper. The walls are paper. The walls are illusion. You know, the monster isn't real. The monster is inside our head. And really that's what liminal space is all about, is the fear that's inside your head. It's all inside your head because there's nothing in that space. That space is just inside your head. It's a dream world. But in this initiation, this rite of passage is only to say, I have arrived. I am here now and I'm not going anywhere. And for your homework assignment, that's going to be your mantra. I have arrived. I am here and I'm not going anywhere. I have arrived. I am here and I'm not going anywhere. And how does this help us? Think about it. How does that help you in your unique circumstance and situation, whatever challenge you're facing or not facing, the way you're feeling right now? You know, maybe it's like earthquake energy. We've been dealing with a lot of earthquakes and shifts in our lives and on our planet. And this is to say no, calm down, your 2 feet flat on the ground, and you can do this. You can do this as just like a practice. You can go outside, and you can do this at night under the moon. You can look at the moon and tell the moon your mantra. You know, I would do it personally. I would do it barefoot, but you don't know what kind of creepy crawlies are crawling around in the grass at night. But you know, standing there outside in the grass on the ground, and if there's no grass, just stand there on the concrete, barefoot on the ground, strong, strong, with force and fire. Fire from your solar plexus down to your feet and on the ground, and saying, I am here. I am here and I am not going anywhere. I have arrived. I am here and I'm not going anywhere. So suck it.